In this video, we are going to look at how to configure access port and how to configure trunk ports. What are the difference between them? How to troubleshoot when there's a problem with access and trunk related issue. So if you are preparing for CCNA or beginner to Cisco environment, this is a great video for you. I'm going to go in detail about all of those things. And also, if you are an intermediate or entry-level network technician or network engineer, this video will be a great help for you to configure and troubleshoot access and trunk related ports. So I'm going to use Cisco Packet Tracer for this lab, but you know there's a small difference between using Packet Tracer and real switches. So when you are on a real switch, you will understand what are the difference. I'm going to show you some difference while I am going through this lab. So let me go to my switch section and place two switches. So I'm going to use two Cisco 3650 multi-layer switch here. So this is a modular switch. So you have to put the power here. This is a modular power, otherwise you cannot turn on these switches. Also, you have to put the uplink port separately. It's like inserting an uplink module. I'm just going to put one port, but you are welcome to put two. So let me put two of them. Then I'm going to go to my CLI here. So the switch is now booting. So let that boot and then go to the other switch. So let me show you if you don't have the power and see when you go to CLI, it is telling you device must be powered on because you have not put the power. And I'm going to put the uplink module, two of them. All right. So let me turn on the switch also. And I'm going to go to place two PC. I'm going to use two VLANs here. So I have four PCs here. So I'm going to put some labels here. So this is VLAN 10, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 20. So just you have to escape, and then if you want to just put them here, now you can move them. Okay. Now I am going to connect them. First, I go to this links, and if you choose this one, automatic link, you cannot select the port. It will select automatically. Click here and click here. It will select the port automatically. So what I'm going to, you see here, it select gig 101 instead of gig 111. This is what I want, gig 111. So let me delete this one and go here and just click delete, escape, and I'm going to select straight through cable. Now I can select the port. I'm going to select this one and here, go here, this one, and let me show you one more time this one. If I click here and see, it is selecting the third port, gig 103 and 101 in here. But I want gig 111. That's what I mean before. So escape, I'm going to delete this link and I'm going to go here and select this one and select this one here and go back here. 1, 1, 2, Ethernet 0. All right, so I have all the links coming up now, and these are the ones showing what are the state of those links. So let me configure the IP for these PCs. Go to desktop, go here, and then I'm going to do 10, 10, 10, 10 for this IP. And I'm not going to configure the gateway because we are going to test only the layer 2. We are not going to have any layer 3 or routing here. So you don't need a gateway. I'm going to go here, desktop, 10, 10, 10, 11. And I'm going to go here. This is 192, 168, 1.10. So this default gateway is a puzzling thing for many people when you come to the networking world. Default gateway is a routing thing. It's a IP for your router when you have routing enabled. If you don't have routing enabled, you are only doing layer 2, you don't need the gateway. So just understand the concept. So I'm going to show you while I am going through this lab why we don't need a gateway. Desktop here, 192, 168, 1.11. Let's put the IP here so we can ping properly. 10, 10, 10, 11, 192, 168, 1.11. One side is enough. All right, so all the links came up now. So I'm going to ping this PC here and I'm going to show you why I should be able to ping. So I'm going to ping 10, 10, 10, 11. You see, I am able to ping. And to go back here and ping, you see, I am able to ping. So the reason you are able to ping is lie behind this switch configuration. But you have not done any configuration yet in the switch. Enable and go and see show VLAN, and you see all the ports are on VLAN 1. And same with this one. Enable show VLAN. All the ports are on VLAN 1. Since everything is on VLAN 1, you are able to ping each other. You know, a VLAN is a broadcast domain. So all the traffic, all the MAC address can be learned within this broadcast domain. So all the PCs in this VLAN 1 should be able to ping each other. That's the reason you are able to ping between these PCs. Another concept you need to understand is VLAN is the one a broadcast domain, not the subnet. So you can have two different subnet within a VLAN. Say when you have a VLAN and you are running out of IP in just one VLAN associated to a subnet, you can add another subnet to the VLAN as a secondary. So don't think subnet is a broadcast domain. Subnet is not a broadcast domain. Only VLAN is the broadcast domain. So that's why I am able to use two different subnet for VLAN 1. But I'm going to change that. Normal operation is you have just one VLAN and associate a separate subnet to that VLAN. That's how we normally do networking. But in some cases, we have to have two subnet or three subnet into a VLAN. So I'm going to put this one in VLAN 10. There are different ways to configure VLANs. Conft, this is how you configure an access port. So I go to int gig 101 and switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10. So the message you are going to get here is you don't have VLAN 1. Now I am creating VLAN 1. You see here access VLAN does not exist, creating VLAN 10. So when you put a port on a VLAN and that VLAN doesn't exist in the VLAN database, the switch will create that VLAN and put that port into that VLAN. But it will not name the VLAN like you do normally. And let me show you, show VLAN. You see here, port 1 is on VLAN 1. If you ping now this is on VLAN 10. And if you try to ping the other PC, you are not able to ping. You see, it's going to time out. So let's come back and I'm going to explain to you why. So it's definitely timing out. So let me close here and explain to you why. Go to this switch and look at show int status. If you look at here, this port, this is the port connecting these two switches. You see, there's only one VLAN allowed, that is VLAN 1. That's why we were able to ping those PCs using VLAN 1 before, because VLAN 1 is allowed on all links by default. But now VLAN 10 is not allowed. So this PC on VLAN 10, this is on VLAN 1. So that's why you are not able to ping this one. So to be able to ping, you need to allow VLAN 10 through this link, and you need to put this PC on VLAN 10. So let me do the same here. Conf t int gig. So let's configure the VLAN properly here. And conf t VLAN 10 name student. And I'm going to create other VLAN also. VLAN 20 name staff. That has been created. Conf t int gig 101 switch port access VLAN 10. If you put this command, it will make the port mode as access and put that port into VLAN 10. And now let's see, we can ping. I'm sure we are not able to ping because we have not allowed that on the trunk yet. You see, we are still not able to ping. So what we have to do is we need to make this link as a trunk link, because only VLAN 1 is allowed by default in this link. So let's go here, and I'm going to conf t int gig 111. This is the trunk link. Switch port trunk encapsulation .1q. So this is how you enabled tagging on a trunk port. So this is a tagging command .1q. And now you put the port into trunk mode. Switch port mode trunk. And what will happen is it will negotiate the trunk with the other end. So let's, if you see here, now it's negotiating the trunk. You see here, spanning tree received 802.1q BPDU on non-trunk. So it was a non-trunk link before. Now what is happening is it's blocking inconsistent port type, and see whether it negotiate the trunk port. Now it up and show int trunk. Yes, it negotiated the trunk. So when you enable one side as trunk and show int trunk, so if you see here, we configured this as a trunk port, and without any configuration, this port become as a trunk, because for the trunk, it is just the entire link, not one side of the link. So you need to have both sides agree on the trunk. Otherwise, the link doesn't become as a trunk link. So I have this also on a trunk. So if you see here in a trunk, when you enable trunking on a port, all the VLANs, VLAN 1 to 1005, all of them are allowed via trunk. And you see here only VLAN 1, 10, 20 are active because these are the PCs on this VLAN. That's why it is active. So if I go now and ping the other PC, I should be able to ping now. You might lose one ping. I know it's everything pinging right away now. And if you ping this one, you should be able to ping because VLAN 20 is also allowed on the trunk, but I have not made this port as VLAN 20, but they are on VLAN 1, so they should be able to ping each other. You see, I am able to ping. So let me go and make these ports as VLAN 20 conf t int gig 102 switch port access VLAN 20 conf t int gig 102 switch port access VLAN 20, and let's try the ping again. Now the link is coming up, and let's try to ping. Okay, both of them are up now. Let's try to ping. Now I am able to ping. So let me show you another thing about trunk configuration. I told you all the VLANs are allowed on the trunk by default, but in a production environment, people allow those VLANs specifically. They don't allow everything on the trunk for security reason. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So conf t, and then I'm going to go to my trunk link, int gig 111, switch port, trunk, switch port, trunk, allowed VLAN, I would say 10, 20. So I'm specifically allowing VLAN 10 and 20. And I'm going to do the same thing here also. Let me copy this one. I'm going to go here, int gig 111, paste 20, and show int trunk. I am allowing just VLAN 10 and 20. You might ask, how about VLAN 1? Because VLAN 1 is not here. So can you send traffic via VLAN 1? So let's try that. Let's go and then change this port to these ones to VLAN 1, conf t int gig 102 switch port access VLAN 1, and go here, conf t int gig 102 switch port access VLAN 1. So all the links are up now, and see whether we can ping them now. Okay, I am not able to ping. Let's see. Timeout. Okay, so I am not able to ping. So if you look at here, show in trunk, VLAN 1 is the native VLAN. So native VLANs don't need any tagging to traverse the trunk. But best security practice in networking is don't allow VLAN 1 via the trunk link. because hackers can use VLAN 1 for their advantage. So VLAN 1 normally not allowed on the trunk. Always people shut down VLAN 1 because they don't want to use VLAN 1. So what we have done here is the best practice according to the network standard. So you will not be able to ping these PCs on VLAN 1. So let me put those ports back into VLAN 20. All right, now I should be able to ping each other. I think that port is still coming up. That's why I'm not able to ping yet. Let's wait for that to come back up. All right, now I should be able to ping. You see, I am able to ping now. And let's see how to troubleshoot trunk link. Think about here, you come here and then int gig 101 switch port access switch port trunk allowed VLAN delete. I think remove say VLAN 20. So you remove, this is how you will remove just a VLAN from the trunk. And show int trunk. And if you see in the trunk, so we just removed it. No, I should have removed it from gig 111. This is where you make mistakes. So you need to be careful where you are removing things. T int gig 101 switch port access VLAN 10 int gig 10111 switch port trunk allowed VLAN remove 20 and show int trunk. You see here now only VLAN 10 is allowed. But if you look at on the other side, show int trunk, you have both VLAN allowed. It is not allowed, VLAN 20 is not allowed here, but allowed here. So you have a VLAN allow mismatch between these two links. So you might ask, will the link get suspended when you have a VLAN mismatch in the trunk link? No, it is not. It does not suspend the link when there's a VLAN mismatch. But you should not be able to send traffic from this side using VLAN 20 tagging because VLAN 20 is not allowed on this trunk. So let's try that. So let me ping this PC again. You will not be able to ping. So what you have to do is when you have a connectivity issue in the trunk link, you need to go and check whether that VLAN is allowed on the trunk or not. So I come here, conf T. So I already verified VLAN 20 is not allowed on the trunk. And conf T int VLAN int gig 111 switch port trunk allowed VLAN. So you have to be careful. You have to use the word add. Without add, if you say switch port trunk allowed VLAN 20, it will remove VLAN 10. You see here, VLAN 10 is allowed. If I issue this command and show int trunk, you will see only VLAN 20. So you need to use add because this is a very dangerous thing if you don't do it. Think about you have hundreds of VLAN allowed and you come here and you want to add another VLAN to the trunk and you forget to use the word add, it will completely remove everything else and add that particular VLAN. So everybody else is going to have connectivity issue. So be careful with that. So I'm going to go conf t int VLAN int gig 111 switch port trunk allowed VLAN add 10 and show int trunk. Now you have both VLANs allowed. Hope you liked this video. If so, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of my video, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so you will get notified when I have a new video. All right, thanks. Bye.